All right, what up, everybody? It is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Go ahead and like the video and comment on the live chat if you stumbled upon this morning. I know it's a Monday and it's slow for people to kind of get up and going. They're trying to get into their routine, but the week is here. It's a holiday. Grab a loved one and squeeze them real tightly. Learn what love is. And we're going to talk about what's not love. And it's pretty much everything you see in the news cycle when it comes to these rats that are continually being exposed for the rats that they are. I firmly believe in my inner core. The prophets have said as much, but I believe it for my own self. You got to work out your own salvation, right? God's hand of justice is moving right now in the month of February, and it's coming out. So John Durham, if you haven't paid attention to it, is the biggest report probably of the day yesterday on February the 13th on Sunday. Not that this isn't like stuff that y'all patriots already didn't know, but if you haven't figured it out, the Clintons are stanky. The Clintons are nasty. The Clintons are dirty as hell. It's just what it is. And you know that they bought and paid for this fake dossier. You heard the story over and over. And because the same cabal, let me just put it to you real plainly, the same cabal that runs our governments behind our Secret Service agents. What's up, Sarah? Good morning to you. The same cabal that's behind so many of the dirty politicians in Washington, behind the Hollywood industry, behind education, behind the IRS, behind basically every pillar of society, which is why life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness seems to just get sucked out of your system the more time goes on. Inflation, I think that last thing I heard was probably like up 7-8%. Go to the grocery store, go to the gas station recently, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's because of these rats, these secret society coven people, none of which, I'm just going to say it plainly, this Hillary Clinton is a witch. She is a witch. Durham uncovering stuff. Yes, supposedly. So if you didn't hear about the story, I'll get into the story. And yes, I'm using very firm talk because I think God is now about to do his thing, and he's going to be more and more clear the closer he gets to it. I mean, even Jesus, before he went to the cross, flat out looked at Peter, I think it was, and he just said, the Son of Man is going to have to be betrayed into the Romans, and he will die, and he'll raise a third time. And he got very clear, less mystery. And I'm sitting there telling you, Hillary Clinton's a witch, and you're going to see it as much. And God has already said he's not gonna let them, even though they'll try to put a witch in the White House. And we're going to talk about all the horrible witchcraft that she has been a part of. And I'm going to talk you through the stuff, the depths. I mean, controlling spirit, first off, if you're a controlling person who wants to control other people, not let God deal with people, that's basically witchcraft. Okay. That's matriarchal witchcraft that's coming from Hillary Clinton. What's up, Raider? Raider Gaines says the Super Bowl symbolism was blatantly obvious, even the final score, really. I didn't watch it because I've known that that's just been one big, I don't know, satanic ritual for a few years. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to put this before my eyes. I refuse to. I believe God's going to take Hollywood down, sports down, the whole thing. And so we're going to be firm. We're going to be very direct on today's broadcast. What up, Queen Scorp? Yes, be firm. It's needed. Can't dance around it anymore. So let me be plain about what's uncovered here. And I think, God's timing is all part of this at the end of the day, overall this, whether you think whatever you think of Durham. But anyway, here's basically the news. If you missed it, former DNI Ratcliffe told Durham intelligence supports multiple indictments into probe. This is regarding Hillary Clinton. Here it is. Hillary Clinton purportedly approved a plan to distract the public from her email scandal. Some sources told Fox News. This is their take on it. Former Director of National Intelligence, so that's DNI, John Ratcliffe, met with Special Counsel John Durham on more than one occasion and told him that there was evidence and intelligence to support the indictments of multiple people in his investigation into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe. Fox News first reported on Durham's latest filing, which alleged that lawyers from Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign in 2016 had paid to infiltrate servers belonging to Trump Tower and later the White House in order to establish an interference and narrative to bring federal government agencies linking Trump to Russia. And then, of course, they had the Mockingbird Media ready to roll as soon as some of this phony, bought and paid for, cooked up narratives were ready to roll. Okay. Did you hear what I just said, people? Did you hear what I just said? Let me read that sentence one more time. It says Hillary Clinton paid their lawyers. If you don't remember, Perkins and Coie, I think, was a law firm. And then Mark Elias, who's been known to do this stuff for the Democrats. They paid for this tech company to spy on a sitting president. Not only were they spying on him probably before he got elected, but definitely during his presidential campaign. The servers belonging to Trump Tower and later the White House in order to run and establish interference, and they pushed a narrative to bring the federal government agencies, we're talking the FBI, CIA, whatever, to investigate Trump on this phony collusion with Russia. And now you see the Russia fallout with this fake jackal that's in office, frankly, right now. He's the one that is guilty of treason, basically selling out our country to the highest bidder. Been doing it for years. Anyway, passing out crack pipes. Anyway, Fox News reported earlier in October that Ratcliffe provided, nearly 1,000 pages of material to the Justice Department to support Durham's investigation. But sources told Fox News this week that during his meetings with Durham, Ratcliffe, who served as a congressman and as the former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Texas, said he believed there was enough evidence in those materials that he provided to indict multiple people. The sources pointed to one key piece of declassified intelligence, which Fox News first reported on October 20, revealing that intelligence community officials within the CIA forwarded an investigative referral on Hillary Clinton, purportedly approving a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russia hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. I mean, they cook up and fake and frame people with untrue, falsified, fabricated stories so that you don't look at the crimes that they are doing right in front of your face. This is just the playbook, but this is how these elite sickos operate. My goodness. My goodness. Y'all talk to me, please, in the chat, because if you didn't hear about the story, you probably haven't been looking the past 24 hours. Sources told Fox News that the CIA memo, also known as counterintelligence operational lead, was properly forwarded to the FBI at the attention to the then FBI Director James Comey, disgraced FBI Director James Comey, and then Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok. Anyway, the following information is provided for the exclusive use of your bureau for background investigation, action, or lead purposes as appropriate. The 2016 CIA memo to Comey and Strzok stated, this memorandum contains sensitive information that could be source revealing. It should be handled with particular attention to compartmentation and need to know to avoid the possible compromise of the source. Anyway, you can read the whole memo later, but there's so many concerns raised, and rightfully so. And so, I mean, are we finally going to have justice with this Hillary Clinton business? Is she finally going to go to jail like she should have been going just for having the emails that were on her own private server, lying about it, and then destroying and tampering with the evidence? Y'all remember that? Is that ever going to happen? My goodness. Sarah says it wasn't all wedding emails, that's for sure. Even those were suspect. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, Chelsea's wedding funding was suspect. Always been the playbook. Distract. Look over here on my left hand, not on my right hand's robbing you. Very well put. Yeah, I definitely am, and all this inside info. Very happy to hear it up on the outside in some kind of news. Now, if you believe what the prophets are saying, eventually these Mockingbird Media lying trumpets for Satan's principalities and powers, if you want to put it another way, they're going to be forced to say the truth. God's going to force them. I think they're going to choke on their own lies and finally have to vomit it out for the people to hear. And how people are going to react when they see the witchcraft, the pedophilia, the crimes against humanity, it's going to be interesting to watch. And we're going to probably have to be the light for the people who, it's going to be tempting for me to be like, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. But they're really just going to have someone gently counsel them with truth where they're able to receive it. Can't hit everybody over the head all at once, but you can maybe ask little questions that say, hey, does this part make sense? I mean, why would you think they do that? Why do you think Joe Biden has a fake set that he's doing all these things on? I mean, it's been verified. Can you give me an explanation for that? And just listen, get their wheels turning. I'm a big believer you got to get people thinking, and you really kind of got to start where they are. See if you can get them to think with something little, and then before you know it, they'll get a little stronger in their thinking skills, and then you'll be able to lay out a little big chunk of meat that maybe they might ingest in time. That's what I'm learning. It's very frustrating, not easy to do, but anyway. Going back to the article for a second, dealing with the concerns that's raised. Meanwhile, Ratcliffe has also declassified documents that revealed former CIA Director John Brennan briefed the then President Obama on Hillary Clinton's purported proposal for one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russia Security Service. So they already have declassified documents, and it's revealing that CIA Director John Brennan had already talked and briefed with President Obama about Hillary Clinton's plan to frame a guy running for president, opposition. This is treason. You can't do this. We're getting additional insight into Russian activities from Brennan's declassified notes, which were first obtained by Fox News in October 2020. They really want you to know it was first obtained by Fox News in 2020. You can tell who wrote this article. But anyway, allegedly approved by Hillary Clinton as a proposal for one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Trump by stirring up a scandal. So anyway, 3 indictments. At this point, Durham has indicted 3 people as part of his investigation. Igor Denchenko on November 4th, 2021, Kevin Kleinsmith in August 2020, and Michael Sussman in September 2021. Ratcliffe told Fox News Sunday morning that he was expecting many indictments out of Durham's special counsel investigation. Danchenko was charged with making a false statement and is accused of lying to the FBI about the source of information that he provided to Christopher Steele for the anti-Trump dossier, whenever you say that, dossier, I think it is. Kevin Kleinsmith was also charged with making a false statement. Kleinsmith had been referred for potential prosecution by the Justice Department's Inspector General's office, which conducted its own review of the Russia investigation. Specifically, the Inspector General accused Kleinsmith, though not by name, of altering an email about Page to say that he was not a source for another government agency. Anyway, I can read the whole thing. And if you want to, I can leave a link to this article in particular. This is Fox News's take. So, I mean, everybody's going to be a little biased when you're listening to the Mockingbird Media. But anyway, I'm putting this in the live chat if you guys can see that real quick. Reading some of the comments, going back to it real quick. Queen Scorp says, let's see. Sarah says, excuse me. Yeah, I definitely am in on all this info. 100%. I'm the only one in my family standing up. Well, at least we got you, Sarah. You know, I was like that for a while, and then slowly the rest of my family. They're pretty smart crew, so eventually they got presented with enough stuff, and they're on board at this point. David says, I read about an interview with Trump, and he literally said Hillary Clinton's crimes are punishable by death. Yeah, I read that too. I wish I should have had that pulled up before I started the live, but I saw the same thing. I mean, anybody else, this is worse than Watergate. This is ridiculous what this person continues to get away from, and they're not going to get away from the hands of the living God. They're just not going to. Raider Gain says, I wanted to say I told you so about Don Lemon, but I've learned silence can almost be satisfying. Yeah, I'm learning that too, Raider Games, but I need to continue to learn that. You know, when they're just quiet and they're just kind of making this face. That's pretty satisfying because you know it. I mean, some of the people I know who are most stubborn, who don't ever want to admit when they're wrong, when they're quiet, that's when I know they're finally admitting it. Okay. So yeah, it can be satisfying. Seth says there are 2 things on the periphery of this I worry remain very covered. Remember, puppets folding is just the first brave step. I know we got to go hard. I mean, I'm just telling y'all, buckle up, because I have a feeling, especially as the convoy in the States is scheduled, I believe, to start in March the 1st, we're going to have to get ready to get in the fight. It's time to get in the daggone fight. And if you haven't gotten in the fight, you don't know what that's like, pray about it and do what makes sense to do. Once you've done all that there is to do, stand there for and watch God do the part that you can't. Hillary SB says Hillary is pretty slippery. I'm sure something else will come up and she'll evade this. She'll probably have somebody taken care of, if you know what I mean, if you follow anything about the Clintons. It's just ridiculous stuff. No, we'll come back to the Clinton conversation, but I do want to touch on one other subject that's kind of different than this, okay? And so we've been talking a lot, right? We've been talking a whole lot about, what do you call it? You know, the Trucker Convoy, right? And rightfully so. I mean, it's amazing. There's even been prophecies we're finding out that were like 40 years ago saying first the honkers will go forth and then the eagle, and that'll be a sign that the sound of freedom is here and stuff like that. That's big time Chris Moore's paraphrase. But what I wanted to talk about was a little quick update on this whole Give, Send, Go stuff. You know, the government's been working to try to, you know, put in legislation. I think they did, where apparently Give, Send, Go can't give the funds to the truckers. And I think there's ways around that, but the fight is on. You got to fight, Canada. If you're watching this feed, you got to fight. It says an article that came out today, Give, Send, Go's under attack. Apparently, they're calling it hateful trans hackers. They always have a nice name to make us into Nazis when we disagree with the narrative and we think for ourselves. Now, the hackers of Give, Send, Go, which is probably just the government, saying that the people supporting the Freedom Convoy are hateful trans hackers. Anyway, reading a little bit about it, they say stuff like this. They froze it. They're messing with the funds. They're not letting the funds get anywhere. Attention, Give, Send, Go grifters and hatriots. Oh, yeah, that was the word. Sorry. Hatriots. So you're not a patriot. You're a hatriot because you think for yourself. The Canadian government has informed you that the money you a-holes raised to fund an insurrection is frozen. The bank has frozen several accounts. You helped fund the January 6th insurrection in the U.S. Okay. You helped the fund You helped fund an insurrection in Ottawa. Oh, really? An insurrection. In fact, you are committed to funding anything that keeps the raging fire of misinformation. If I hear the word misinformation one more time from the left, I'm going to lose it, going until it burns the world's collective democracies down. That's what the hackers said. So if you want the basic nuts and bolts of the story, here's what's up. Gibson Go was hacked on Sunday night during the Super Bowl, so you might not have been able to come up for air long enough to notice this. Far-left demon hackers take over Gibson Go website. They took over the website. They then posted the personal information of Freedom Convoy donors. So if you donated through Gibson Go, you might want to do some research and look out and find out, because apparently they're posting freedom. I mean, this is demonic. This is spiritual. This is, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is deep, deceptive stuff. I think the government's behind it. I don't just think it was just random hackers. The Marxists will stop until everyone is silenced. These idiots are the online terrorists who do the dirty work for the left. So this is a Gateway Pundit, quick little update. Anything that's good is clearly under attack by the satanic left. I love how they're saying it now. They're the satanic left. The hackers posted the donor information online. We will not be linking to that information for this post because we want to protect the people who donated, the patriots. But the left thinks you're a patriot. So what do you guys think about that? You're a patriot, apparently, if you donated to people who are tired of tyranny and want freedom. They call you a patriot. Okay? So there's a little news nugget that to borrow the line from who used to say that? News nugget. Can't think of his name right now. Herman Cain. Anyway, let's see. I'm just reading some of y'all's thoughts. Insurrection. It's ridiculous. Insurrection. It was the most staged theatrics I have ever seen in my stinking life. Do you remember all those news headlines and these police officers and supposedly former military personnel who were crying? I was scared for my life when I saw Ashley Babbitt walk through that window. I was terrified. These people have done and seen the most unimaginable violent things, way more dangerous than January 6th. And yet I'm supposed to believe all these former Marines are in tears because of a couple Ashley Babbitt and like one other that might have turned to violence. I mean, are you serious? But anyway, it's ridiculous. So going back to it real quick, I want to make sure I just got everything on there. There's one person who tweeted talking about the Gibson Go thing. He said, so Gibson Go, the site raising money for the convoy, got hacked. The hackers posted a video addressed. Oh, yeah, there's a little video on here. Of course, everything goes viral in about 2 seconds in this world. Addressed to Gibson Go grifters and patriots with the Frozen song in the background. They also posted what they alleged to be all the info on who donated and how much. So it's just demonic and evil. You try to give to a good cause, and you just got to know you're in for attack. Now, if I can find this, bear with me for a second. I was actually reading just through Proverbs this morning, and I was thinking really... it made me think about this whole thing with what's going on with the convoy, what's going on with why they're shutting down accounts and how everything's difficult. And one verse that came to mind before I read this, it's in Proverbs, and it talks about how many are the afflictions of the righteous. But the good news is, but the Lord delivers him of them all. I'm going to say it again. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him of them all. This is in this one chapter. And if I can find it here, I'm going to read some of it to you. I think, it was so good. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. I think it was in Psalms. I'm sorry. I think I said Proverbs a second ago. But here's the cool thing. I'm going to just read this and think about it in light of what you've seen. Think about how you've seen Trump do selfless acts. How a man of means who didn't have to do what he did, took no paycheck, is bleeding, gets attacked constantly for the sake of others. And look at the afflictions and the attacks that he gets. And people can't see it. They don't have wisdom. Psalm 34, starting at verse 15. I just want you to think about this in light of what you're seeing in society. It says, the eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. That's the good thing. If you're doing right, you're getting attacked, rejoice and be glad, for yours is the kingdom of God, right? The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. Good news. Help. Your eyes are open, right? Listen to us. His ears are open to their cries for help. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil. He will erase their memory from the earth. The Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. How many of their troubles? Did he say a couple of their troubles or some of their troubles? Let me read it again. He rescues them from all their troubles. I like that. And then it says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. I know some people that need to hear those words. The righteous person faces, this is what I was saying before, verse 19, Psalms. The righteous person faces many troubles. Okay. But the Lord comes to rescue each time. The righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to rescue each time. Thank you, God. You know, I'm not super excited about the facing many afflictions or facing many troubles, but the Lord comes to my rescue. I'll take it. For the Lord protects the bones of the righteous. Not one of them is broken. I think that's a reference to Jesus. Not one of his bones was broken on the cross. Calamity will surely destroy the wicked, and those who hate righteous will be punished. But the Lord will redeem those who serve him. No one can take refuge in him. No one who takes refuge in him will be condemned. But anyway, just some encouragement. You know, we're going to get these hackers. You know, they're going to call us hatreds. We're going to be misaligned. We're going to be, you know, our character is going to be completely misinterpreted, and we're going to be name called. I mean, just read Daniel. He was accused of all kinds of stuff that he wasn't. And just know, rejoice and be glad when that happens, because you're doing and working righteousness, and this evil world will not just sit back and tolerate it. They're going to attack, misalign. But if you hold on and have faith, the Lord will deliver us from this. I firmly believe that, and I think it applies into the times that we're dealing with right now, very much so. The Lord will deliver these truckers and these people, and the people who are donated, and when it's attacked, you know, trust the Lord. He will deliver you. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers of them all. So anyway, Queen's Corp says, see what will happen with Cashless Society if they can freeze 9 million from the, this is the perfect example as to why, you know, I'm guilty of using it too. Of course, sometimes you feel like you got to, especially doing what I'm doing right now. But this whole idea of digital currency where they can just click a button and stop the funds from getting somewhere. This is the pitfall that you fall into. They can freeze 9 million from GoFundMe and then go after millions from the Gibson Go. Imagine what that could happen to us as a whole. Exactly. It's very terrifying. Outside of Jesus, ain't much hope. I shared a video of Ashley actually stopping violence inside the Capitol before she was murdered. Man, Hillary paid for data mining, and it's perfectly legal. You people are so gullible. So we got our first grifter. Hey, you know, if they call us the Hatriots, but you guys are the Hatriots. Okay. Nothing about Hillary and what she does is legal. Is it legal what she does there in Haiti, trafficking the kids there and moving them on to like places like Epstein Island for Clinton to do God knows who and for them to do God knows who too? Is that legal, John Burton? And you think I'm something? Look at the demon coming out here. And say, I know firsthand. So it's not like I have to worry about some article I read. I know people who worked there as missionaries from Haiti, and the Haitians told us to our faces what they knew the Clintons were doing. And the Mockingbird Media here tells people like the grifters that it's a totally different story, and they believe what they're told, and they don't think for themselves. So, you know, let them do them. I'm going to do me, but I know the truth, and the truth sets me free, and I don't have to be controlled by the demons that come on up in here. So y'all go ahead and tell Jonathan what it is, and maybe we can pray for him, and he can get woken up. But we know that's a witch who's tried to do her witchcraft and has her Mockingbird Media in the 70s. We know that, I think it was Lyndon B. Johnson put it in place so they can do propaganda. We're just now waking up to this stuff. But you know, this is exactly, if you're watching this live feed, this attack that's currently happening from this soul who needs to find Jesus. This attack is exactly what I said is going to happen. So I rejoice and I'm glad. Did you not read the words, Jonathan? Let's just read the words. The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. Help me, Lord. Deal with him. I don't worry about it. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil, he will erase their memory from the earth. The Lord hears his people when they call for him their help. He rescues them from all their troubles. God's close to the brokenhearted. The righteous person faces many troubles. There's another verse that basically says, consider it pure joy when you go through trials and tribulations. Rejoice and be glad. So anyway, you didn't tell the truth, bro. Oh, the truth. Listen to this. The truth is that Trump is under 13 criminal investigations, and it has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. Yeah, because the people who are doing the investigations are the real criminals who misappropriate lies. That's called the fake Russia dossier that you can search out if you use your own brain and find out. He's under investigations from the criminals, bro. But it's hard to get there, brother. The people and the institutions in this United States do and go after the innocent and defend the sick pedophiles and the sickos in office. That's what happens. It doesn't mean anything to say you're under investigation. It just means someone's looking around. Go ahead and look. They tried to impeach him twice and they couldn't do it. They tried to say, oh, he's guilty of colluding with Russia. Oh, wait, they found him guilty of that. So being investigated means nothing. being found guilty, like Hillary Clinton's just been found guilty. Hillary Clinton was just found guilty of, let's see, putting classified documents on a private server, lying about it, and then destroying the evidence. She's guilty of that. Let's see, Bill Clinton in the 90s, yeah, he was definitely guilty of some things, and he's been guilty of some other things. And she's guilty of paying for a lawyer to go and hack and spy and come up and report to the news a lying story about Russia. So it's all lies. So I don't care if you're under investigation. That means nothing, especially by the institutions that are literally the enemies of the American people and freedom lovers. So anyway, SB says, amen, Chris, appreciate you. I know. But anyway, this is exactly what I was talking about, spiritual warfare. When you're trying to work righteousness, when you're trying to explain things that are true, the enemy is going to come and attack you. You're going to get in there and try to, get you off your game, and it's not going to work. I mean, I'm just going to neo that thing. I'm just going to be like, what's up? Okay. They're going to come at you and try to bring in confusion. All right. And then they're going to call you the one causing confusion. They're going to say you're bringing misinformation when they're bringing the misinformation. I mean, just look at the data when it comes to the pandemic, and you'll find that more and more countries are like, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. And they're dropping the tyranny. And as it stands for the Democrats, I kind of think there's a little bit of calculation here. They're basically, in my opinion, they're kind of like, oh, wait, the midterms are coming up in 2022. And a lot of people, even the left, are kind of sick of these things and are doing this to our children. Let's go ahead and give it, a few months ahead where people maybe forget what we did for them for the last 2 years. And let's go ahead and get rid of the tyranny. So hopefully by election season, they'll forget about it because people are that gullible, right? So anyway, Sarah says, almost all the bullcrap tech used against us can be reappropriated. I'm ignoring the grifter. Let's see. John, what's your point? I missed another. He's just coming on here to create misinformation. He's prime example of being indoctrinated with the lies. I know. So anyway, hopefully if he just watches this, maybe he'll catch a clue and wake it up. So the bottom line is, when you're going to do what's right, even if it's funding apparently righteousness, don't be surprised when you got these little people coming in, and maybe they'll come up with cute little names for you. But if they're going to call me a patriot, it's funny because that's exactly what they are. If you're a patriot, they hate you. So that makes you a patriot. Okay. So what's a patriot? The left thinks a patriot's a hatred. I'm just saying, if you hate a patriot, you a patriot. It's just what it is. You're a patriot. So anyway, just reading some of the comments. The Dems are hoping people forget what they've pulled. I personally do not have a short memory, and I will not forget. I can have a short memory on things that don't matter, but things like this that matter, they're coming out. They're going to impact my kids and my kids' kids, and in my life, and my home, in the best nation in the world. Oh, I'm going to remember that. I know everything that they did. I know how they misaligned Trump. I know how they blamed him for the very things that they are guilty of doing, trying to act like he's, working with other governments to, I mean, when we know Biden has done that. We know that Biden just was trying to fund some crack pipes for black people while Trump was trying to get a $500 billion economic plan. And somehow the Mockingbird Media is still able to convince a large segment of the African-American population and half of the white population that it's a better idea to give crack pipes to the population versus trying to actually help revive the communities. We know how they work. I know for firsthand growing up in the South, when most of my family, my parents, and and what have you, are from the North. The more and more red the South has become, I just happen to notice the more and more and less racist it has become. It's the Democrats that had a stronghold in the 60s in the South. And it was the Democrats who wanted to make sure that black people couldn't vote, but white people could vote at 110% rates in Alabama, for example. And as we've lost a Democratic stronghold in the South, it just seems like the South really ain't that racist anymore. Have you noticed that? I've lived in the South my whole life. Is there a connection? Kind of think so. So a lot of the way things are presented to you are the opposite of how they really are, because Satan, through these secret societies that have this whole world under their spell, quite literally, is telling you the opposite of what actually is and causing you to, my senses tell me this, but the media is telling me that. And I don't know if I trust myself. They try to make you insecure. They try to dumb you down. It works through the public education system to keep you following rules and not thinking. And then you get into your adulthood and you don't realize you just follow rules and don't think. And then you elect people guilty of treason because they don't know how to think and reason. That's why we put those lyrics in the song. So anyway, People can articulate a fact that often have an overuse of emojis. That's a good one. Oh yeah, look at that. Cry face, cry face. It's like, I don't have words, and my English teacher didn't teach me so good. I went to a indoctrinated leftist school, so let me just put up pictures of someone crying because I lack the I don't know. I lack the verbiage. I lack the words. Oh wait, I don't have any argument to put together. I mean, that's whatever it is. Anyway, can't even imagine with the crack pipes. I have family members that are addicts. One passed away from an overdose. This is not how we help them. I mean, you don't help people exactly. And I can't imagine it, SB. I really can't imagine. I'm super sorry. I mean, I know family that struggle with addiction, and it's the hardest thing. You don't enable them to continue to do the thing that's killing them and then call it love. You know, it's just not what you do. So anyway, let's read a little bit more. Don't worry, John. The government is there to help you get your gender identity. Anyway, so we're not going to give John any more of a voice because he's just on here trying to get us out of what needs to be talked about, which is basically like, look, the information is coming out, and Hillary Clinton has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to have basically done criminal activity on the sitting president, spying on them, trying to make up some phony story so that no one could look at her actual crimes. And then you get the entire media to echo your lying ways to the public to influence outcomes and people like this young man who can't quite put it together. So anyway, it's sad. It really is sad. Just in case you came on late, and I'll sum it up on in a minute, but just as a quick reminder, there has been a Gibson Go attack. Hackers take over the Gibson Go, and I really think this is just my hunch. This is just my gut, but I don't think it was just really skilled independent hackers. I think the government probably has it already in the works where they're able to do this, and they're not going to admit as much. And they're basically, you know, name calling patriots, calling us hatriots, even though they're the ones that hate patriots. And, you know, freezing the accounts, and they're actually taking out people's information who donated and putting it out there. Illegal stuff. But our corrupt government is as corrupt as I'll get out, and y'all just know what it is. And God has to pull them out, and so He's going to shake everything that can be shaken, and they're going down. You think you're getting away with it, and you're not. And the whole world's going to be able to see all of who you really are. I mean, that's the only way I know how to say it. What's been in the darkness will come out in the light, and every tongue's going to have to start confessing it, and it's going to be a glorious thing. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say today. How long have we gone? About 32 minutes. If anybody has another topic that maybe you've heard about or you want to discuss, you better tell me right now in the live chat real soon, because then I'm going to wrap it on up. And, you know, that's kind of how it's going to be. But, yeah, I mean, so this is where we are. Good things are happening. I know that Supreme Court justice stepped down a little bit ago. If you didn't watch out, Julie Green prophesied on January 15th that one will step down, talking about the Supreme Court, and then like 6 days later, a Supreme Court justice steps down. Timing's awfully uncanny, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? So anyway, these are glory days. They're not gloomy days. They're gonna look bad, right? When the icky, yucky junk that's been messing everything up comes out, it looks disgusting, it looks ugly, it looks horrible, but it's actually, you know, if you've ever done garden work, you know that tilling the ground and getting up the weeds and getting up the rocky stuff, that's actually more work than just planting the seed. So we got to do that hard work first, and then we can plant the good stuff. So anyway, David Parsons says maybe Gibson Go was created by the Canadian government. It's a question. I know, David, that the CEO of Gibson Go made a statement saying he isn't under the jurisdiction, and he's still gonna, as far as they can, you know, as far as they're concerned, they're gonna go ahead and allow the funds to go to the truckers. That, at least that's what's being said in the news, and it's supposed to be a, you know, United States government, but like I said, how the stuff works on the back end and what kind of government contracts some of these big tech companies have to sign up for just to even grow to a certain level is a question I have. I feel like Facebook early on made a deal with our government, basically signing their blood covenants, in my opinion, to be able to do what they're doing now. So the government let them get that big. I don't think the government's just going to let you blow up to be this multi-billion-dollar company without them getting what they want, if that makes sense. And so anyway, just food for thought. Can't prove that, but that's just what my gut says. Someone says, yeah, gardening soon. It's warming up here. A cold day though. Enjoy your garden. I was always finding the metaphorical, showing the literal of daily life. Anyway, so I'm pretty much done for today. Share this video if you want to or don't, but like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already followed me on Odyssey, please do so. Subscribe to me on Rumble. We've got a pretty even number as far as subscribers on Rumble versus my backup channel, which is this one on YouTube, but you know how BoobTube can be. So make sure you have those backups. So you can always get the latest content and analysis. If you feel so led, I have a link to my PayPal, my Cash App. If you want to donate support to the cause of the channel and getting out the truth, go ahead and email me. If you have sources, if you have stories, sometimes depending on what it is, I'll bump one story and put in yours if I think it's more current and it just sits right, if that makes sense. So this is a relationship, not just a YouTube channel, and I appreciate you guys coming on here. Sarah, have a blessed day. Raider Gaines, have a blessed day. David, have a blessed day as well. Queen Scorp, I appreciate you being on the live. Always a pleasure for sure. Pray for those who don't get it and are a little emoji happy. Let's see who else is on here. I don't want to miss anybody. SB, good to see you. Anyway, I know Tina, when you're probably, I know your schedule, so you'll probably have to watch the replay later. So love you. I hope you have a blessed one. Hold on till the wheels fall off. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him of them all. It's a promise. So hold the line, trust God, do good. If you can keep it down to two things, I think that's it. Trust God, do good. Don't worry about the haters. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.